1 o'clock, three-man front. Landrum, Pat, Conrad, and Molly. SEC tournament action going on right now in Nashville. First round, Kentucky. They got their hands full with LSU. Wildcats, Big Blue Nation, leading 64-60 as LSU continues to hang around. Now LSU has cut that to a bucket, so we'll keep you updated there. 11:48 remaining in the second half of that one. Auburn and Mississippi State coming up following that game. Newly named, Pat, right? It's been a couple of months.
Yeah.
A guy that was born here in this state. We're very familiar with his time leading the Troy program, also at Tulane in the American in recent years. And he is a coach that is loved by coaches. And that is one John Sumrall. And he joins us on the Higginbotham Hotline. Coach, how are you today?
I'm awesome, guys. I appreciate y'all having me on.
Yes, sir. Thank you for taking time out of a very busy schedule, and we know what the spring is like. Coach, I admire you because we're coaches. We call high school football, and we do college games as well, but the coaches that we talk to behind the scenes, everything has been consistent about what folks say about you. He is a coach's coach. He is a grinder. Explain to people what makes up John Sumrall.
Yeah, well, look, man, I love football, and I don't ever feel like I've gone to work a day in my life because for 22 years I've been coaching college football, and I don't call my AD, Scott Strickland, and tell him this, but, like, I started doing this making $12,000 a year, and I thought I was the richest guy in the world, and so I love what I do every day. I love getting to serve our players. I love getting to interact with our players. I love getting to be around the coaches. I'm really driven to get better every day. Being around high school coaches, you talk about coaches, those are some of my favorite people in the world. My high school coaches had a significant impact on my life. And we actually have a couple of Birmingham, I'm not going to name names, we have a couple of Birmingham high school staffs in the building right now here in Gainesville today. And so we're open doors with all those high schools in the state of Florida and really throughout the Southeast, and have a lot of great relationships in that state and friendships that have been a part of my life for a long time.
I got to ask you, Coach, talking about when you first got in the business, I want to go back to a story I think I heard you talk about. I think you were in Destin, Florida, maybe enjoying the white sand beaches there on the Florida Gulf Coast, and you got an interesting phone call from Rich Brooks, potentially for you to get into coaching. Take us back to that day.
Yeah, my junior year in college, 2004, I led our team in trips, not tackles. I wasn't fast enough to put my face in the ball carrier, but I was swiping a bunch of ankles, and like Dan Campbell would say, I was trying to bite kneecaps. But, I finished 04 season, led our team in trips, was going into my senior year in 05. I already got my degree in business finance and had a career-ending injury. And it was really unfortunate. Kind of spiraled a little bit into almost somewhat of a depression type mode, to be quite honest with you. I was down at the beach. I tried to drink all the alcohol I could find in Destin. There was no beer that was safe on that trip, and I was just sort of drowning my sorrows, if you will. And Steve Hellier, who was Rich Brooks' football ops guy at the time, calls me, and then Coach Brooks calls me, and they asked if I wanted to become a graduate assistant. And I said, heck yeah, that's all I've ever wanted to do anyways is coach. And so I said, what do I need to do? They said, we need you to get back up here tomorrow. So I immediately left the beach, went to the condo I was staying over in Destin, and started drinking water, slept at night, woke up as early as I could and got my butt in the car and started driving back that 10-hour drive to Lexington and started coaching youth camp like 2 days later or maybe the next day. And so hadn't looked back. It was an opportunity of a lifetime. I went straight from being a player basically to, trading my helmet for a whistle and never looked back.
Coach, it's different with every coach and your style and how you're going to do it, but all the success you had at Troy and you parlay that and you have great success at Tulane and the American, and we got to watch you up close the last couple of years. Knowing what Florida is, it's a storied program, a lot of recent success. If you go back to national championships and of course, for me, watching the old ball coach back in the 90s with that offense, it was awesome, and Urban Meyer continuing that. But knowing all of that, you're your own guy. You strike us as it's John Sumrall. This is going to be the way that I do it, to hell or high water. when you walked into that program and you looked around and you're taking it all in, what is immediately processing through your mind? Because I know you're a process-oriented guy. What are those first steps? How do you start at a place like Florida?
Yeah, well, you're not wrong. I'm unapologetically myself. I'm not going to try to be anybody else. I'm not smart enough to have more than one personality. All right, and so I am who I am, and I don't try to pretend to be anyone else. Having said that, I have a tremendous amount of respect for Coach Spurrier and Urban. You know, Coach Spurrier was at our practice yesterday. One of the cool things about being the head coach at Florida is at practice yesterday, being a coach's coach. Like, I love coaching, as I've got, you know, Steve Spurrier and Bob Stoops there. And, you know, here in a couple weeks at our coaches clinic, I've got Liam Cohen, Urban Meyer, and John Gruden talking.
Wow.
Like, how freaking cool is that? Like, are you kidding me? And so I get to be at one of those places that attracts great coaches to just come hang out and watch practice or speak at a coaches clinic. And I've had a blast getting to know Coach Spurrier better. And Urban was really involved with some phone calls throughout the process of me taking this job. He and I spoke on a handful of occasions, a couple of times at least, so I could ask him some questions about my fit here and his thoughts about my fit here. But then really you talk about the question you asked in regards to when I walked in and evaluating what needed to be done or the processes that needed to take place and maybe what needed to look different. There were some things going on here that were really good. The previous staff recruited, I think, people of character. You know, I think there's a lot of infrastructure things here that were done well. I do think we needed to make some adaptations to the weight room. I think the toughness and the grit of your program is built through the strength and conditioning program. And that mindset of you're not going to back down when things get hard. Like when we get in the deep, dark, murky water of the fourth quarter against an SEC opponent, man, we can't flinch. Well, you don't want to find that out in October. I want to find that out in February. And so the off-season program needed to look different, I think, than maybe what it had. And then my style of coaching, you know, I'm very relational. I think these kids appreciate that. I'm also brutally honest. Like, I got no problem calling somebody out. And when they put something on tape that's not our standard, I'll do it in front of the team room. Like, you got to have some accountability to how we prepare and how we practice. And so I do things with intensity, with an edge, with a chip on my shoulder, and probably a blue-collar mindset. A lot of that probably comes from going back to when I was a player. I really wasn't very good, but I worked my tail off to just become average.
Talking to Coach John Sumrall, the head football coach of the University of Florida, joins us here on Three Man Front on Jocks. Coach, I got to ask you about the ultimate decision about taking the job at Florida, because I know Jenny and your 4 kids were very involved in a family-like decision like this. But I understand that your 7-year-old daughter is a very competitive person, and she had some very pointed questions to you, Coach, about the Florida program.
Yeah, well, Jenny and I sat down and we prayed about taking the job and where we were going to take a job, and we felt led here, just to be quite honest with you. And it kind of was a surprise in some regards. This is where we ended up to us, but this is where we felt called. You know, my kids, they all had a little different response. My 12-year-old son wanted to know, could he meet Tim Tebow? I told him we could probably make that happen. My 12-year-old daughter wanted to know, could she sit out in the general audience for the game in the stadium, not in the coaches' suites with my wife or wherever, which my wife doesn't like sitting in the suites either. She likes sitting out in the crowd. But my 12-year-old daughter, she's a fan. She knows more football than most adult men do. And so she wanted to know, could she sit in the stands. My 9-year-old daughter wanted to know about how many times could we go to Disney every year over in Orlando. And then my 7-year-old daughter just very poignantly asked, Dad, can we win at Florida? Like, can we win a national title? I'm like, yes. And, you know, she's 7 years old. She'll be 8 in October. And the last 5 years I've been coaching, we've won 53 games.
Oh, wow.
4 of those years as a head coach, we've won 43 games. So she thinks 10-win seasons just kind of happen. Like, she doesn't understand that this is actually really, really hard to win 10 games a year. it's pretty much what she knows. But she legitimately asked when we told them, like, hey, guys, this Florida job's been offered. You know, this is where Mom and I have been praying. We've been praying about this and leaning this direction. Those were their responses. And so she just wanted to make sure we're going to win football games here. I think probably more like the average fan does too.
I'm having flashbacks of the movie The Rumor of the Titans. You had the assistant coach who had the daughter who knew more football than everybody, and that's awesome. And I know that certainly warms your heart when you're taking on this endeavor, and you had success there at Tulane, and the resources that you had, they're not in the SEC, but better as far as American standards. They're at Troy. Even though you're processing and you're planning this out, and I'm sure you've got your plan put in place, how eye-opening was it for your family to go to a place like Gainesville where football is so big?
Yeah, you know, Troy is an unbelievable place. Football is very important there to that community. It's part of the fabric of the university. You know, the history and tradition of Troy, you look going back to the D2 days, what all they accomplished. Man, that place is a football place. The difference, though, at Troy was I was the head football coach. I was the nutritionist. I was like a part-time strength coach. You wear a lot of hats at a place like Troy as head coach that really have to do with the nuts and bolts of the football and the day in, day out program stuff. You go to Tulane, we had probably more resourcing. We were middle of the road. We were probably third or fourth in that league when it came to rev share, NIL. We weren't the top two. There was a couple teams well in front of us, but I wouldn't say we're the top, but we weren't a have-not either. Tulane was unique, though, that their most recent football history had been successfal. But we shared a weight room with 7 other sports or 6 other sports. I didn't have my own weight room, which, you're scheduling weightlifting time around Olympic sports left and right, which made it challenging when you're trying to service a 120-man roster in football. And then you walk in here and holy cow, like the number of people in the building, the facility they just built here 4 years ago, it's an $85 million football building. We got I look out my window in my office and we got a freaking swimming pool and a hot tub for the student athletes out here. I'm like, this is like a country club almost. It may be too daggum nice. And so we need to get a little dirt underneath our fingernails and get to work sometimes here because it's a little too almost yuppie-ish for me. But I like having these amenities. If we can match these amenities with a little bit of a blue-collar mindset, I think it can serve us well. There's nothing you don't have at your disposal at a place like the University of Florida. I mean, we got unbelievable nutrition stuff here. We got facilities that are off the chain, and we have a really well-versed staff that's got a lot of different training to where I don't have to be the nutritionist. So I get to just be the head football coach. And so it's cool. It's exciting. Our family, every time, my kids are up here, that they're in awe of what we have. And I'll be honest, every time I walk in the facility every day, I usually get here at about 5 a.m. I'm kind of pinching myself like, man, I'm the head football coach at the University of Florida. This is a pretty amazing journey I've been on.
I saw you in the photo shoot with the gator, the live gator, which was pretty entertaining. You don't strike me as someone who scares easy, but I think the gator got your attention. Describe that shoot and what was that experience like for you?
Yeah, well, I found out like the night before that I was having this encounter from my wife because she found out it was on my schedule with one of our administrative assistants, and my wife's like, hey, you got some deal with an alligator tomorrow. Well, I'm thinking we're talking about like a 1-foot alligator. It's going to have tape over its mouth like you might find on a riverboat cruise or something. And they take me over to the stadium and I walk in, it's a freaking 7-foot alligator. Right? Like we're not talking about some infant here. And I did get fairly comfortable as the thing was going on. The photo op was happening, or the videos they want me to take. I'm like, all right, I got like 4 or 5 feet away. I'm feeling pretty good about my ability to be around this animal. And then all of a sudden it snaps back at me. And I'm like, whoa, easy, like chill out. Like this is, and so it was an impressive encounter, man, powerful animals, once in a lifetime opportunity. I'll be okay if that's not on my regularly scheduled activities anytime soon. Again, I got a lot of things that are keeping me busy, but yeah, what an experience. That was amazing to actually have a live alligator in the swamp in our stadium was pretty cool.
Well, Coach, listen, we appreciate you taking some time out. I know Alabama is a special place to you and your family. Appreciate you spending a couple minutes with us here on Jocks. And I know one of those teams very closely that is in your building right now from Birmingham.
Mm-hmm.
And their head coach just texted me moments ago and told me what a great time they're having down there. So appreciate you hosting them.
Well, I'm glad they're here. And look, always excited to have connections in Alabama. It's home, always will be. My mom still lives up there, and we are very fortunate to have great relationships in that state. And I appreciate you guys having me on. Y'all have a great day,
Coach. It's been our pleasure. Thanks for taking time. Hopefully, we can catch up down the road.
All right, take care.
You too, John Sumrall, new head football coach, the Florida Gators, joining us on the Higginbotham Hotline. You deserve solutions that are built for you. Higginbotham's your one-source solution for insurance, financial, and HR services. From that, we go to basketball. What is going on with Big Blue Nation? SEC tournament. We'll get you up to date next.
What a great interview with John Sumrall. If you missed it, download the Three Man Front podcast. Molly will be putting out a lot of different social media posts, kind of chopping that up. But man, what
if you're an alumni group, if you're a fan of that school, you can't get behind that guy.
Tremendous.
And we were talking in the break, and we'll go ahead and share it with our audience. That's the way that SEC football coaches, that's what you got most of the time.
That's the way that used to be until they all became paranoid and guarded.
Yep. And all very PC, and let's be buttoned up.
Mhm.
Let's say all the right things to
And
appease all the people.
Back in the old days, you literally could show up at a football office complex on any campus in the SEC and literally walk into the football offices. And if they were in the office, you more than likely could walk in and had a conversation with almost any coach that was in the building.
And it can always go one of two ways, but I love a coach that says, look, I'm not going to change. I'm not going to conform or who you want me to be. I'm going to be me. It's the only way I know how to do it. It's gotten me to this point. We're going to do it this way. And you know what? He's had ultimate success in both places.
He's got the formula, and he's been successful. You cannot deny that.
But how many SEC coaches would come on here and say, yeah, when I got my first coaching job, I was down at a beach. I was really sad, drinking a bunch of beer, and then I pulled myself together, and look where I am now. Like, that's just honest.
Good Lord, pull me out of that pit. Yo, it's a great
awesome.
testimonial. And look at him now.
Incredible.
Can always turn around.
Florida's going to be pretty good, I think.
Yeah, give him a year or so and let him get his guys in there with his system.
Well, they get to see John Sumrall coaching at Florida for a year in the SEC, and then you start getting some of the top talent and their representatives reaching out because then Florida's the cool place to play again.
Yeah, no doubt.
It's all perception.
Right now, Big Blue Nation pretty happy inside Bridgestone Arena. LSU's only hit one of their last 8 shots from the field. Kentucky has now a 9-point lead. 5 minutes left to go in that game, 77-68. A reminder, at the conclusion of this game, the Auburn game will begin between 20 and 25 minutes after the conclusion of this. And you can hear the game over on our sister station, 100.5.
And an update from the Big 12 tournament on that trippy psychedelic court. Iowa State leading Arizona State. If you guys have, I was going to let you guess the score, but 79-38.
So remember the last time I checked, the point spread was 36.5.
Yeah, and they're up by 41.
Mm-hmm. So you got five points to play with, roughly.
Oh,
It's 41.5 now.
yeah, that's
Do you want an updated box score?
yes, absolutely.
We go back to team stats. Oh, they got one. Arizona State is now 1 of 17 from outside.
There you go.
That's solid.
Can't go 1 of 17 if you don't start 0 of 16.
That is a 3-point percentage of 6.
That's better than UAB this year.
No, it's not.
Oh, it's not?
Close enough.
Yeah, but AK would still laugh.
Close enough.
Yeah, AK would laugh.
He
at that.
knows.
Yeah.
22 total turnovers. They had 15 at the half, so they cut down on turnovers.
That's great. They're
or
improving.
Iowa State's just gotten tired.
I mean, they have the walk-ons out there, right? At this point, I mean, if you're Iowa State, just don't get hurt.
Bobby, take us through your last game as the head coach of Arizona State.
Whew.
Well, at halftime, it was 45-16. Well, that's fun. Iowa State moving on.
He just wants to get home to that lazy river. He'll be fine back in Tempe.
Yeah.
Just one more trip down the lazy river.
That's right. That's absolutely
Before
right.
he goes and sits on the end of the bench for his brother.
And yeah, that's right.
Get a national championship.
Mm-hmm.
What a great interview with John Sumrall. Getting a lot of text messages from folks. Very pleased with that interview. If you missed it, you can download the 3-Man Front podcast. Highly recommend that. Or you can always go back and watch us on YouTube. A lot of you have been subscribing, been ridiculing the things that Conrad wears every day. I see all those text messages. Pretty fascinating. They don't like what you wear.
Wait, what?
They don't like what you wear every day.
Like my general clothes?
Yes.
Oh, that's news to me.
Who doesn't like it?
People on the text line.
Oh. Yeah. You're an easy target these days.
I thought I dressed fine.
That's actually more, I mean, even if you're not a fan
No,
of
you're dressed
Alabama,
up today, considering
got
what
the
you
quarters
normally
in.
wear.
Well, the shoes, yes, I get a lot of hate on the shoes. 'cause
You should.
Well, I'm a big open toe shoe guy, personally. Especially this time of year, it's great.
Not for everybody else.
No, my piggies are out right now. It's great.
Yeah, but what are you wearing those? So we go to the game tonight. If you were not with us, would you wear open-toed shoes?
Yeah, I'm going to wear them even with y'all.
No,
No.
not with me. No.
Nope. I'll
Not
tell you what,
happening.
you wear your open-toed shoes and I'll wear my cowboy boots.
I'm not going to wear the crazy ones. I'll wear cowboy boots with you.
No, I
Yeah,
want
why
you to
not?
wear the open-toed shoes. I'm going to wear the cowboy boots and inadvertently step on your little piggies.
Okay, that's fine.
It won't be fine. A lot of Florida fans chiming in. They really enjoyed the interview. Text line is open. You want to go there? 205-834-9450. Can do that. Cigar Cowboy says, I'm not near a radio, but let me just say LSU was good in the first half, but it's now over.
Yeah, Kentucky kind of did what they were supposed to do in the first half and the second half.
Drake says, let my coach know I said go Gators. He knows. Listening to the Sumrall interview, how did Auburn not hire him? Genuinely. How did that play out? What happened? Well, they were well down the road. I think my understanding is it might have been a hiccup with staff considerations. Maybe had something to do with DJ Durkin. Food World feet. Grocery store feet.
Oh, yeah.
Conrad.
Yeah, that makes me want to wear normal shoes now.
Someone said, I must have missed the logo question. We didn't ask the logo question.
No, and you're going to try to get some gear too, remember?
Yeah. That's a text.
Okay.
Because I did forget.
Hey, Coach, love the interview. Quarter zip, large.
Here's our sizes. No, I did forget that. We will, you know what? Have Coach bring back gear.
That is a good idea. I will text him now.
You know my size.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I will text him now.
Conrad does prefer orange.
Yes. Absolutely.
Jimmy says, speaking of a running clock, I was a local football high school referee in the late 90s, early 2000s. There was a small school, West Jefferson. That was good, had a really good running back. Did one of their games where they were up by 60 in the third. The opposing coach asked for a running clock. We ran the clock through the timeouts, even during the third, fourth quarter exchange. The losing team had 16 players. 5 had gotten hurt. They had a foreign exchange student, jersey number 72, line up 1 yard from the sideline next to their head coach just to have 11 on the field. It was crazy. Whoa. Keep the text rolling in, 205-834-9450.
When we come back, we'll do some Pat Ponders on this Wednesday. We'll give you an update from the first round of the SEC basketball tournament. That's all straight ahead here on Jocks. 2 minutes and 10 seconds left to go in Nashville. Game number 1 of the SEC basketball tournament. Kentucky, the 9 seed, up 81-76 over the 16 seed, the LSU Bengal Tigers. LSU making a flurry of shots here down the stretch to make this a 5-point game. So we'll keep you posted there on what's happening in Nashville. Let's do some Pat Ponders. As always, it's brought to you by the good folks here at Three Man Front.
I want to know what you're thinking. Tell me what's on your mind.
It's time for Pat Ponders.
All right, let's get right to it. Question number uno. NFL free agency frenzy, it continues. What move this week, excluding the Max Crosby situation, has shocked you the most? It could be a signing, it could be a release, it could be whatever it is, just anything but Max Crosby. What has been the most shocking free agent frenzy?
Probably the one that shocked me the most, and I think it's great for player and his new team. But probably Mike Evans going to San Francisco, and just because, I mean, I feel like he's been kind of underrated his career. He's a Hall of Famer. I mean, he's an absolutely incredible receiver. I know he's getting older, but just for everything he meant to Tampa Bay and for how cheap essentially San Francisco got him, I'm really surprised that the Bucks, and maybe he wanted to leave, but you know, you saw some of the other deals that they made, and I mean, they signed their tight end Kate Otten to a deal for like $2 million a year less than Mike Evans. So it was more so the fact that they almost seemingly disrespected one of the best players in their franchise's history and just let him go to the 49ers.
For me, one that stood out, and maybe it didn't make a whole lot of headlines, but we just saw him stand out in the Super Bowl, and that would be Kenneth Walker. And going for the Seahawks, the Chiefs. And I realize what the running back room looks like, and he's going to demand a lot of money. But
it's a great signing.
It's a really good one. Just learn how to catch.
More on the running backs, it would be David Montgomery and Isaiah Pacheco.
That hurt you, didn't it?
It did hurt, yeah.
Well, you got Pacheco, but Montgomery.
I miss Demo, though.
Yeah.
And the fact that somebody still wants Kyler Murray.
Maybe the Steelers.
No.
Question number 2.
Louisville Kings.
Ben Adebayo scored 83 points last night in Miami, surpassing Kobe Bryant's 81 as the second most all-time in an NBA game. I want you to rank, according to you, the top 3 NBA scoring performances of all time. One, the most, was Wilt Chamberlain with 100. Bam had 83 last night, and Kobe Bryant had 81. So if you were to rank that 1 through 3, with 1 being the most impressive to you personally, which would it be?
Of those 3 or
of
just
those
in
3?
General?
Just because those are the 3 highest scoring games in NBA
Given
history.
and I do believe it happened, but
Never seen the film.
yeah. So Wilt's going to be second. I think Kobe's going to be first. And then last night, because it's really not even basketball anymore.
Well,
Performance art.
Yeah, and so Bam would be third, and the reason for that is he shot under 50%, and he scored. I mean, he made 36 free, which is impressive. You made 36 out of I think 43 free throw attempts that he had. The Heat were fouling late in that game to draw it out, so he could continue to just everything going on around it. Like they were kind of.
It was manipulated.
Yes, and not to speak ill of him, because I think Kobe's is number 1 and Wilt would be 2, but it was like Kobe's last game when he scored 60 points. He shot it like 50 times that game. You know, it's still great. It's a great story for how his career ended, but it was actually a really poor shooting performance. He just had the volume, and that's kind of how Bam was last night.
I agree. I'd go Kobe, Wilt, and then Bam in that order.
And if Wilt's is true, then it's easily number 1, but
What, you think it was made up?
I don't think it was made up, but I don't, maybe he scored 80 points or 75 points. I don't know.
He scored 100 points.
Yeah, he scored 100 points.
They didn't make it up.
Okay, but then the way that he maybe came about it, it's just like.
No different than what happened in Miami last night.
Haven't seen the film.
But he scored 100. I mean, it's officially an NBA record. It's not like They just sat around and decided, hey, oh, yeah, by the way, Babe Ruth supposedly hit all these home runs, so let's say he did it, but I didn't see the tape.
Well, I believe that one.
Of course you do.
Yeah,
Of course.
I believe the Babe.
Yeah, of course.
I need to look at this Philadelphia Warriors roster.
Yeah.
Was it like Landrum and Pat with sweatbands and Converse running up and down trying to defend Wilt? Or do we had other big men?
To be fair, that might be equivalent to NBA defenses today. So,
Yeah, it's all come full circle.
pretty much, yeah.
I'm looking up the Philadelphia Warriors roster.
All right, next question. I need you to take these 3 SEC host cities, Birmingham, Nashville, and Atlanta. I want you to rotate the tournaments that each one of those cities currently hosts and place it in another one of those 3 cities. For example, Birmingham's got baseball. Basketball tournament's got Nashville. Football championship is in Atlanta.
Let's go. Nashville is now getting baseball. Birmingham is getting well, dang it, Pat. Birmingham gets football back. That's what you wanted.
Oh, so you're playing it protective?
Yes, and we're charging a premium for seating.
Just asking. Okay.
Well, no.
See?
No.
Okay.
No, you got to give me a heads
All
up.
right,
on this.
Molly's got it.
Okay.
What you got?
I'm going to go Birmingham now has basketball, played
Okay.
at Legacy.
Okay.
Atlanta gets baseball, played at Truist.
Mm.
And then Nashville gets football, and you could play it in the new Nissan Titans Stadium.
That's the only way it's got to work. I'm not a fan of playing the SEC baseball tournament inside of Truist, though I love the park. I love the coziness of. I think it's perfect where it is in Hoover.
I agree.
But yes,
So you
Given
endorse
that-
Molly's plan.
But I would rather play it at Truist than, no offense, where the Sounds play in Nashville, unless they do get an MLB team down the line.
Oh, that's where you're playing it.
Yeah, see, that's what I was thinking is you would put football in Nashville because you're going to have the new
Right.
stadium that's going to be immaculate. And, yeah, I mean, we'll figure out basketball here. And I don't hate baseball at Truist. I don't think that's a bad idea. You could also...
It's not a terrible idea.
No, it's not. But I like you're saying, it would feel weird because there'd be a lot of empty
It goes back
seats.
to the Big 12 and what they pretend to do every year. I don't want it to look like that because we have a proud, great tournament here.
Let's rent out the Georgia Tech baseball stadium, have the SEC tournament there.
Definitely not.
Georgia Southern.
Let's build a new one.
All right, final question today comes courtesy of BB. For a mere $250,000, you can be the first to reserve a room at a luxury hotel on the moon. GRU Space, a startup company, hopes to deploy the hotel by 2032. Lunar excursions are planned and will include moonwalks, and couples can honeymoon in this exotic locale. If money were no object, would you book a vacation on the moon? Would your spouse or significant other go with you, or would you go with someone else?
No, I'd say yes. Landrum and Dorothy would be all in. First thing I would want to do is for other people to go and make the test run. Let's get all the bugs and the kinks out of the resort. But number 2, after doing Mission Space at Disney,
You got sick.
well, me and my wife both did, and we don't.
Yeah, you almost died.
We don't
Wow.
easy.
Didn't know that.
But after an hour in the Disney clinic, which it's really nice too.
I'm sure it is.
You got real doctors and everything in there. It's great. After an hour in the air conditioning, we were fine. But Mission Space, the whole G-forces messed
Yeah.
with us a little bit.
Yeah, it was. I remember doing that ride. It's a little uncomfortable. It's funny because me and Paige have actually kind of talked about this when Jeff Bezos was doing the thing where whatever how much it costs you can go up into space. I'm absolutely yes. When I was a kid, I wanted to be an astronaut. That was my dream job. I love space stuff, and I'm not smart enough to be an astronaut, but I really wanted.
That's what Molly and I were thinking.
Yeah, I really wanted to be one. Back then, maybe I was smart enough. Now, not so much. I would absolutely love that. That would be if you could tell me one thing on a bucket list and going to space was an option. That would be number one for my entire life. I
Absolutely not.
Absolutely love to do that. Paige, absolutely not.
So who would you take then if Paige is a no-go? I think I have an idea who you would take. Don't you?
Yeah, but that might
yeah.
that might hurt his. Can you do that with head injuries?
Oh, he's talking about Tua. We were talking about
No, I was talking about
opposite
someone
sex.
local.
Yes.
I was talking about someone local.
Yeah, no. Me and Tua are going to space, and we'll have a great time.
So you wouldn't take Faye?
Here's my question: Are you airtight in there because they're talking about moon? What if I go out the wrong door? You know what I'm saying?
I have a feeling they would have some safety measures for that. So you can't
Molly's
just.
a hard no. You guys
yeah,
are a
I
yes. Molly says no.
I like my feet on the ground on planet Earth.
That a girl.
I have no. I'm fine with staying here.
Wait, so you wouldn't go?
Pat?
No.
No, I don't. I was just complimenting her on
Oh.
her conviction.
Come on.
That's all.
You don't believe in aliens, though.
I don't. I would have no problem going.
I've just, man, seeing the Earth from outer space has to be the coolest thing that you could ever see.
I'd be too scared.
So you wouldn't take Faye?
No, I'm taking Tua.
What if Tua is not available because he's backup quarterback for the Atlanta Falcons?
Then I guess me and Talia are going.
What if Talia is the ball boy for the Atlanta Falcons and he can't go?
Then I guess me and Aaron Judge is too big.
One night on the moon. Is it one night here?
It's called, what'd you say? One Earth Day? What?
I don't know.
No, it's like Interstellar, where that one planet, it's like an hour there is like 8 years on Earth.
Well, I was just saying we go for our honeymoon, the week-long honeymoon, and we come back and everybody's old. We realize we've been gone.
I don't
for
think
like,
it works like that.
doesn't work that way.
No, it
I'm
doesn't.
just double checking.
No, I
that
don't-
in the doors. You get that figured out for me. We're on the list.
Okay.
I think they would.
Second wave of
I'll make a call.
I have to imagine they wouldn't just let anybody use
Patrons.
the doors.
I'll call Senator Tuberville, make sure that you're on the list.
yes.
All right, that's today's Pat Ponders. When we come back on Three Man Front, we will look at the final score that is about to happen there in Nashville between Kentucky and LSU. That's next. We're wrapping up day one of the SEC basketball tournament coverage here on Three Man Front. Game number one is now officially in the books. If you had the Kentucky Wildcats and the points today, you lost. They won the game, but they did not cover. 87-82 was the final against LSU. No big surprise. Oweh had 23 points for Kentucky. Kentucky shot an even 50% from the field. They were 32 of 64. They only hit 6 3-pointers on the day, but they were very good inside the paint. LSU made it a game. It was a really good game for LSU, but not enough, as the Kentucky Wildcats will now advance in the SEC tournament. They will play the Missouri Tigers tomorrow at 11:30.
And coming up next in Nashville, we got Auburn and Mississippi State. And speaking of that, Prize Picks, America's #1 daily fantasy sports app. It's simple to play. You're going to pick more or less on at least 2 player stats. You get your picks right, you could cash in. We will go to the hardwood in the game coming up. Auburn taking on Mississippi State. Mississippi State a winner in the first matchup in Starkville in the regular season. Josh Hubbard, he had almost 50 in the first half versus that Auburn team. 23.5 points today for Hubbard. I'll go around the room, more or less. I had him at 25 to start the game.
Yeah.
It's the show.
I'd probably go more. I'm going more.
More than 23.5, Pat?
More.
Let's go more. So 24 or more.
And we win.
That's one side.
Yes.
The other side, you guys want to go to Todd Pettiford or Keyshawn Hall?
Keyshawn Hall. What we got?
21.5. I'm going to go less.
Yeah, kind of feeling less on that one as well. But like 18 or 19, not like 10. But I'll go less.
He could quit at halftime. We never know.
Yes.
You got to factor in everything.
That's true.
All right. If we hit on both of those, we're a winner. You can be a winner too. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use code WJOX to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code WJOX. $50 in lineups after your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it's good to be right.
So another game that we were kind of keeping our eye on just because it was a train wreck. And we love train wrecks at times, especially in Sports Talk Radio. And that's what happened between Iowa State and Arizona State. The final score, Iowa State 91, Arizona State 42.
Oh, they cracked 40. Good for them.
The 49-point loss by Arizona State is the largest by the Sun Devils in men's basketball since February 1st, 1956. So as Bobby Hurley
You want to be remembered, Pat.
heads out the door, he suffers the second worst loss in the history of Sun Devil basketball, and that came back in 1956.
You like lopsided losses? How you like this lopsided loss?
Man.
I'm going to stores to join my brother.
So just think.
I'll be the good cop.
I could have had Iowa State minus 36.5.
That was too easy.
Heck, at one point, I think it was at 43.5. And it still would have covered. Man, that's a bad way to go out.
Some people taking exception to Conrad and his Wilt Chamberlain comments.
Oh, boy.
Very, very. Well, how would you describe his comments? Besides just disrespectful.
It was very disrespectful.
I just said I've never seen the tape. I didn't say I didn't think he was a great player. I just never seen the tape of a 100-point game.
Well, the New York Knickerbockers who were playing against the Philadelphia Warriors,
Yeah.
they all swore it happened.
Did they play the Washington Generals the game after that?
No, they did not.
Is that the league they were playing
They
in?
did not. With a bunch of guys with nicknames. Sleepy, Curly.
That's right. Mo, yeah.
Yeah.
All the Stooges were there.
Tommy says, have Conrad look up the Wilt Chamberlain stats. Consecutive games scoring 30-plus points, 65 games. Consecutive games scoring 50-plus 7 games. Averaged over 50 points a game 1 year. Averaged over 27 rebounds per game 1 year. Averaged 30-plus points and 20-plus rebounds 7 times. Do you need to see the tape? No.
Yes, I would actually
do
like
not
to
need
see
to
the
see the
tape to
tape.
verify that. I'm kidding. He's a great player. I'm not debating that. It's just never seen the tape of it.
But no, you insinuated like the league made it up when you said it didn't happen.
They could have, fabricated some things. It's the NBA. It's the NBA.
Did the
Hey.
moon landing, did that happen?
Yes, I said I wanted to go to space. I wanted to be an astronaut as a kid. We absolutely landed on the moon.
Is Tupac still alive?
Yes, he's in Brazil with Michael Jackson.
That's going to do it for us. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. God is great.